Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 9 of Club 6 of the MyCareer save here on FM24. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where it's going to be slightly different. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be summing up the first half of the season, showing you some highlights from some games. Then we've got a lovely game against a relatively big rival of ours in Juventus. I'm going to show you that at the very last game. It's the next game in the save where I've got up to that we have to play, and I thought it'd be a fun kind of stepping off point after finishing the first half of the Champions League season. Again, this episode is going to be more focused on the Champions League. We obviously did very well in every competition last season, so we're going to be focusing on this season. I'm going to have a look and see how we started. Obviously, you saw the opening game of the season, which I'm just getting up on my screen now, just so we don't spoil anything. You saw the opening game of the season, which was against AC Milan, and we beat them, quite comfortably. Smini with a couple, Alexeev got an assist on his debut, Ardagula scoring a penalty as well, so that was all good fun. We very much enjoyed that game. But now we move forward, and we move forward to looking at, we will look at the league, but mainly it's the Champions League. Remember, this save was predicated on two things. Number one, winning the Champions League after starting in the lowest reach that the game will allow you to in English football. But the other part was trying to win it more than once, ideally 3 times with 3 different clubs. Now, we're not going to do that. FM26 is on the horizon. By the time you're watching this, FM26's early access beta period may have come out, and it might be a bit of a scramble for me getting this actual final couple of episodes out. This season is likely to be, I would say, 2 or 3 episodes, with this being number 1, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But anyway, we're going to plow through as quickly as we can. We're going to show you what happened. I mean, that is pretty much the strongest starting 11 that we have, more or less. There's a couple of players we can swap in and out. I'm very happy with the team as well that we started the season with. I'm very happy with it as it is now. You'll obviously see whether there are any changes. Where I've got up to is the beginning of February. So a lot of time has passed since we were in this game on the 20th of August. So without any further ado, let's get into having a look at how the first half of the season has gone. Before we do that though, as always, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. It is completely free to do so. It puts a big smile on this face right here. What's not to love? So yeah, let's get to it. Let's start off with a league game we had on the 6th of September. We're going to start off looking at the league before we move to the Champions League. And this was against Juventus at their place. And as you can see, 2 very late goals. Charles and Zilli bailing us out. We were the better team, but not by a lot. It very much was an even game. And there was a bit of a tight offside call on that one. It ended up being given though. Charles gets his first of the season. And then Charles plays a part in Zilli getting a goal as well. Campanella gets the assist, but Zilli breaking free from the midfield and makes it 2-0, and we beat one of our biggest rivals in one of the bigger games in Italian football. Following game was Napoli, and we opened the scoring in the 3rd minute with an Alexeev header from a corner, not normally his strongest suit. We then followed that with a goal that came from an assist from Najar, whipped in. It's an awful spill from the keeper, and Espinosa is there to make it 2-0 in the 33rd minute. Then we get to the point where we just capitalise on a defensive mistake. Espinosa nicking the ball, gets to Ardagula. Beauty. If that's not goal of the season, I don't know what will be. And that's the 43rd minute. A thing of absolute beauty to make it. What was that? 3-0, I think it was. Smini did have an injury at this point, and we did concede a goal against Napoli. It is 3-1 here. But then much later on in the second half, a floated free kick in, flicked on from Alexeev, and Kabasi makes it 4. We're flying at this point. We're top of the league. We're unbeaten. We're scoring goals for days. We're not conceding many. It's basically last season all over again. I'm having a lovely time. Skipping forward a little bit here to November, the 25th of November to be exact. I'm showing you this page just because against Roma, who are a decent Italian team. Look at the state of that game. We got so many shots, they only got 1, and we win by 2-0, 1 in each half. Of course, we're going to watch the goals, because why wouldn't we? But another good performance from ourselves. Smini with another goal. Alexeev has scored a fair few goals up until this point. He's also got a couple of assists here and there as well. But again, another interception. We're very good at just intercepting defensive mistakes. Campanella just plows it in. Alexeev very unlucky, and Smini is there to capitalise. I did get a little bit frustrated around this point with Alexi because he did score a good number of goals, but also there was a lot of mistakes in there. But you can see there the header in from Scalvini, and it was an Alexi corner as well. So though he didn't score, he did get an assist. So that's something at the very least. The match after that was the game against Atalanta, and even though it was at their place, we went and bossed it. 2-0, Zilli with the first one, the homegrown boy, making it 1-0 in the 39th minute, followed by a second half goal from a corner. Espinosa whips it in. Scalvini is there, but it ends up getting saved, and Urbano ends up getting the goal. There was also a red card in this game for Takahiro Tomiyasu, who did naughty things. Let's have a quick look at it here. So let's have a look. So Rabuana, it's been a while since I played this game, obviously. Samini with the ball here, and I think that's Tomiyasu there. That is a hack. That is an absolute hack. He should be ashamed of himself. So Tomiyasu did get sent off. It's a derby. What do you expect? There's going to be some shenanigans, but it didn't stop us from getting the big win that we needed. Now, the final league game we're going to show you is this one against AC Milan. You can see the score up there. And again, it's another defensive mistake. Alfred Tenas running from his halfback position to capitalise on it. And it is 1-0 very early on. Of course, we did beat them quite comprehensively in the home leg. And Samini doubles it not long after. I say not long after. It's a good chunk after. Actually makes it 2-0. And then we get a third before half-time, just because why not? Trigos getting it into Alex Eve, who gets yet another goal. He's got so many this season, in particular in this period in January. He was absolutely on fire. Samini holding the ball up here, goes around Hughes. Dan Hughes we used to have at Wolves, by the way, and Alex Eve goes and makes it 4. Dominant performance. Had a lot of fun with that. Again, we did the same thing we did to Roma. They only had one shot. It was on target, though, but we just dominated them, and it was beautiful. And again, Alex Eve, another assist in there. So, not just a goal scorer. Just focusing on the league fixtures, this is how the fixture list looks. Kind of similar to last season. 0 points dropped, 100% records, and there's a fair few clean sheets in there as well. If we have a look at the Serie A table, 21 games played, 21 won, 470 in terms of goals, and against 7. We've conceded 10% of the goals that we've scored. I don't know what a record that would be, but that feels like it's got to be some form of record. 63 goal difference, 63 points. It's a thing of beauty. I'm really proud of that. And in terms of how the kind of profile of the season in Serie A is going, Alex Eve's top goal scorer with 19 goals. The man is on a mission to score as many goals as he possibly can. Alex Eve is the top player as well. Samini is the second best player. I don't know where Samini would be on the goal chart, actually. He's joint 6th with Carboni at Napoli and Zilli, who is obviously our player as well. And then everyone else is going to be below that, but not by much. So yeah, having a really good season. Best assists, it's Espinosa again. It's his world. We just live in it. He's been fantastic. Samini's on here as well, as is Gula, as is Gonçalves, although he's not played quite as much, so it's actually more impressive that he's on that list. And clean sheet, Erbig's out in front. It's taken until the final season of this save, but we found the best goalkeeper in the save. He's only played 5 times for Germany. That is outrageous. Who wants him? Is it a Saudi club? It is a Saudi club, of course it is. So yeah, league season-wise, going really well. Can't complain, but you can see Alex Eve just crops up. Just looking in January, I know there's only 3 league games. Bearing in mind he has played in other competitions and has also scored in those competitions. Hat-trick there, 2 goals there, hat-trick there. Also scored there. I think that's him as well. No, he didn't score in that one, so he missed a game there, but scored there. Don't think he scored in the 5-1 against Sassuolo. No, he didn't. Did he even play in that one? No, we rested him. Didn't score there, didn't score there, didn't score there. Did score there, did score there, didn't score there, didn't score there, did score there. Did he score in the 5-0? No, he didn't. I think we might rest him, but did score there, didn't score there. Got a couple there, got a couple there. Like, he has a couple of games where he misses, but it's very, very, very few and far between. So, what an astounding season he's having so far. It's not a particularly big focus of this season, but I'm going to quickly just show you the results of the Supercoppa semi-final. It was against AC Milan. It was a 1-1 draw, despite the fact that we were technically the home team. and we had to win it on penalties. There is a player on here who you won't recognise, Kamada. I've actually looked at him in the save before. I think when I was at both Wolves and Arsenal. He ended up going to Arsenal in real life. In the save after I'd left there. We've got him on loan for the rest of the season. And I'll show you the reason why when we get to looking at our transfers once I've summed up all of the games. But as you can see, we did have to win that on penalties. We dominated and we just could not make the breakthrough. Alexei, it's one of the few games in recent times where he's been completely ineffective. But we managed to get through in the end, and that was all that matters, because that led us to a cheeky final where we won 3-1, and wonderful things were kind of said about us, and lots of fun was had by all. I'll show you the Hall of Fame as well, because I am top English manager. Very proud of that fact. We can see Alexei back to form in this one, scoring, Gula with a couple of assists, Tenas and Kubasi getting goals as well, and Abano with a cheeky assist as well. We did concede first here, didn't matter, we got the job done. So yet another trophy, but what about the Coppa Italia? Well, we have actually started the Coppa Italia, and we've got the next fixture up, but we are through to the quarter-final on this one. We did win against Sampdoria 3-1 with a disallowed goal as well. Kamada scoring a goal on this one. I think it's the only goal he scored for us. He did start this game. We had a very rotated 11 in this one. Zidane scored as well, and Espinoza got one late on as well. So things looking good in this one. We've just got to get past Lazio now. But now we're going to get on to the main event, the Champions League. I'll do similar to what I did in the league. What I'll do with this one is I'll go through each game and I'll show you highlights from set ones. And we'll see how we're doing. We're doing good in everything else. So there's probably going to be one competition that we're not going to be doing quite as well in. Right? So we opened things up with a game against Barcelona. But it was at our place and we did win it with a 1-0 victory. It's that own goal there that did it. Tight game, ridiculously tight game. You can see shot-wise, it wasn't much in it. They had a bit more possession as well. They had as many shots on target, but yeah, was a really difficult one. They didn't have a single player with good ratings or anything like that. Our defence was the team that really did us proud in this one. So got off to a good start, but of all the teams we could have played, of course, had to be that one. And bearing in mind, 12th September, this is around the time we had the game against Juventus as well. So we were pretty much on top of the world early on in this season. Porto was next, and I'm slowly realising I'm probably going to show you all of these goals. Alexei gets it into the box. It's headed out. Najar whips it in, and there is Samini with yet another goal. Another 1-0 at home. This one was a little bit disappointing because we were all over them. This is, again, in the period where Alexei wasn't necessarily doing the business week in, week out. But after a while, I realised it's fine. He'll come good the following week. But we got the job done, and that was the main thing. Again, probably expected a bit more from this one, but we got the 3 points. That's all that matters. And then normal service was resumed against Slavia Prague. We did score 1-0 with a Gula penalty. He then whips it into Silva, who made it 2-0 late in the second half. And then we got a later goal as well. Samini gets to Verlaine, over to Laskowski. Laskowski just bombing forward here. I don't quite know what he was doing. But then an injured Gula makes it 3-0, which you would have expected us to win this game away from home. That's still a very impressive result. Slavia Prague, not necessarily the best team, although that as a fellow, you might want to keep an eye out for him because hopefully he might be something special. I don't quite know why that was flickering then as well. I don't know if you saw it flickering, but on my screen, it was flickering a bit. And of course, we had an away game against AC Milan in the Champions League because you can't write this stuff. We had to leave it late. It was a close game, but Samini bailed us out like the hero that he is. Lots of yellow cards for us. Not a single thing for them, but you can see it wasn't actually as close as I mentioned it was, to be fair. Shots-wise, it was probably closer than it actually looked, and XG-wise as well. But we had more on target. Possession was better. Our passes were better. We were better. Simple as that. Again, though, another Alexei performance that went a little bit begging. There is nothing to show you on about this one other than the disallowed goal, but we did have an away game against my former employer, Bayern Munich. And it's the only time we've not won a game this season. And I'm not sad about it. But after the game, I did have a moment of, because it was at that point the only one. And still, to this moment, is the only game that we've drawn. Lots of yellow cards, a bit of a feisty game. But it's fine. It is what it is. But our boys, you can see, they've signed Joey Stevens, who was a player at West Ham in this save, a youngster, who I had looked at a couple of times. And this guy as well, I don't know who he is. Or this guy, Van der Pol. He actually looked pretty tasty. But and a different goalkeeper. I didn't realise a different goalkeeper as well. I must have at the time, but I obviously misplaced it. But there's quite a few of our boys that we still recognise there. But Couldn't get past them, but equally, they couldn't get past us. But it was, again, as we mentioned, Espinosa did have a goal that was disallowed. Let's have a look at it and see what might have been. Let's see whether the referee made a silly decision or not. I'm curious to see, because I can't remember what exactly happened in this game, other than the fact that I was a bit frustrated. So Urbano with the throw goes all the way back to Scalvini, who gets it to Rabuana, into Urbano, floats it into Charles. I mean, that's miles offside. Charles is miles offside there, so yeah, fully accepting of that. Sorry, I went too far back and nearly showed you the rest of the fixtures then. Fully accepting of the fact that we just didn't have enough in us to get the win there, but equally, did they? Normal service was resumed against Valencia, though. We did then start to score more goals, and crucially, Alex Eve did as well. There's the first one in the 6th minute, because why not? Was checked for an offside. Spoilers, wasn't offside. Then we had a free kick from Alex Eve, gets it into Zilli. I mean, that's just a really nicely worked set piece, isn't it? And then for the final goal of the game in the 58th minute, Espinosa with the ball, getting the front to whip the cross in, and there's Alex Eve again with a slightly rare-headed goal. Not mad about it at all. A few red cards in this one, a couple of injuries as well. Red cards, yellow cards, I meant, and some injuries, all of them on the Valencia side. We were good boys, other than the fact that we caused 2 injuries. One of them to a former Bayern Munich player in this save, in Bradley Barcola. I've got all of the B's mixed up then, so good performance against a decent team. Really happy with that one. You'll notice, at the moment, all wins, 1 draw. Yeah, we were near the top, if not at the top, of the Champions League group phase. It's a while ago. League phase, at this point, we were doing very well. Now, if I remember to, I'm going to try and blur the top bar on this game, just so you can guess how many goals are going to go in. That was the first one there. And then we go immediately to another highlight where there's going to be another one. Against Servette in the Champions League, this one, I had all of the fun I could have. This is the second to last Champions League fixture. Alex Eve getting a goal there. Then it's whipped it. Well, it's not even whipped in, actually. It's short corner from Espuano to Wabuana. Espuano. I mixed up their names there. Either way, De Lauro gets a goal. He was touted by a lot of clubs in the January transfer window, by the way. There's another goal. Don't know if you've lost count. I have. I think that was 4. Here's number 5, Samini, looking to do something. It actually ends up being utterly ridiculous, and Villain whips it in, and it's yet another goal. And then we move on to number 6. This is not even half time yet. This is all the first half. Then we get into the second half. We slow down a little bit here. Header in, Trigos gets a goal, lovely to see. Then not long after that we have a corner, whipped in by Alex Eve. It's floated about a bit, Samini finds Alex Eve, finds a bit of space, boom. How'd you like it? And then we have another goal, because why not? Whipped in by Gonçalves, Trigos is there with the header, and that is 9. And then we get a 10th, because of course we do. Wonderful things are happening with this team. I am going to show you Alex Eve as well, with all of that, missed a penalty. We could have scored 11. But we scored 10. Utter ridiculousness is this. No hat-trick for Alex Eve, unfortunately. That penalty would have got him it, but I can't really complain. By the way, look at the defence. 5 goals from 4 defenders in that game. This is like a pre-season friendly. Utterly ridiculousness. Utter nonsense. And then Rapid Vienna was the final stop on our Champions League phase, and we went and won that 3-0 as well, because why not? Ball through Samini to Alex Eve. They're getting quite a nice understanding between them from winger to striker, and it's nice to see. Second goal, boring penalty, but Ardagula does get it, and it does make me very happy. And then the final goal ends up being this. Espinosa whipping it in. Lovely stuff. So Samini with 1, Gula with 1, Alex Eve with 1, Samini and Espinosa getting the assists as well. And that concluded our Champions League phase. And that is how it ended up. We did not finish top because of that draw against Bayern Munich. However, that draw against Bayern Munich is the reason why they did not get through to the automatic phase. They are in the playoffs. Wolverhampton Wanderers, however, still going strong in the Premier League. I'm so proud of them. Arsenal, not on here, because they didn't qualify for the Champions League last season. So, you know, maybe they should have hired me. They turned me down. I did offer to go back there, but they turned me down. So it is what it is. But that is how the Champions League is going in terms of the profile of everything. Erling Haaland is still going in this universe, which is utter nonsense. We have got Alex Eve down here with 5 goals. He's definitely not doing as well as you would assume he would be. I've got to have a look at Erling Haaland at this point, because how old is he going to be? 30, 35? I thought he'd be older than that, actually. Still the best striker in the world. Still ridiculous. He's still ploughing the goals in the Premier League. He's only scored 280 and 402 though. I would have expected him to do a bit better than that. How's his career got? That second season, the first season in the game, he didn't do very well at all. 14 goals. And then it was around this period here where he really picked up. But he's never got the same record he did there, where he got more goals than games. He's never ever replicated that in the save, which is very interesting to see. But he has also scored a few assists as well. Rating wise, he's never gone above a 7.9. He's never got to an 8. I would have thought he would have done. So this is kind of the tame version of Erling Haaland. He's just going to ruin you. He's going to ruin your save, but he's not going to do it spectacularly. But that is how the season has unfolded so far. The Club World Cup, ignore that. That shouldn't be there. That is how the save has gone so far. One blot on it, the Bayern Munich game. Other than that, dominance. Utter dominance. Don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but I wanted to emphasise the point. Really, really lovely stuff. Now, transfer-wise, after the game, the season had started, I should say, you already knew about all of the main transfers we had in. Rabuano had already joined us as well. So, 3 transfers currently have come into us. Kamada, you know about, loan from Arsenal. He's a backup striker, nothing more. Manchester City is where he ended up. He was at Milan at one point. That is at the point where we were looking at him both for Arsenal and for Wolves. He ended up eventually going to Arsenal, obviously. Not scored in the league for us, but did score in the Coppa Italia. He fits the gap. Now, the reason why he's come in is because we let Charles go. And I let Charles go because of the value. I just didn't see a reason to keep him around because, quite frankly, he just didn't play that well for us this season. Did quite well for us last year. I was quite happy with that, but didn't score that. To be fair, actually, no. That's last season. He actually did okay this season when we called upon him. But there were some glaring misses in there, and to be honest, I got offered that. And when we paid 30-odd million for him, I just thought it'd be ridiculous not to do it. I genuinely just thought, let's just get rid of him. Sandy, you knew about Casagrande. This guy. Oh my God, this guy. So this guy literally kept missing training, going out partying. It's the first time I've ever dealt with a youngster who keeps missing training. Now, I thought this guy would have potential. I could not get rid of this guy quickly enough. And we had teams who offered and then turned him down. I ended up getting rid of him for far less than I wanted to. We've made the loss on him. I don't care. I still see it as a win because he was getting on my last nerve. So I'm very happy to get rid of him. Very happy to not see him ever again. How he's got 3 caps for Brazil, I don't know. Vamos. Let's go. We're good without him. We're good without him. And I don't think we need to worry about any of the other transfers in or out really on this screen. These 2 are youngsters. I've future-proofed the club for future seasons, for future generations when we're not going to be here. I bought a couple of youngsters. I have also bought another couple of them as well, if I go to the inn. I've also tried to sell a few players. Peter Adi, remember him for Slavia Prague? Yeah, I signed him. He's getting a big contract as well. He wants to be a star player. I think he might be a superstar. I'm gutted we're not going to get to use him. But I also have to work out where he fits in the team, so that's okay. But he's joining us, youngster. He's been signed for, I'm going to show there, it will show here, won't it? 10 to 15 million, really good deal. And then this guy, played against him against Rapid as well, actually. Christian Benke, we'll go with that. Again, wonder kid, these are all wonder kids. Not quite as good as what we scouted him as, but again, he'll be pretty good. And he is joining us again for a bit more money on that one. He was up to 38 million, which is a lot more than I wanted to pay for him. But we had the money. I thought, why not? Why the devil not? And that's where we are in the save. So as it stands right now, everything's looking lovely. We're top of the league. We're through in the Champions League. We've won the Super Coppa. We're through to the quarters of the Coppa Italia. Alex Zeve, if we have a look at him, he's incredible. Look at that run. Okay, there's a bit of a barren spell here where he didn't quite work. But he had a little bit of a knock, I think, around here. So that was why. But then once he picked up here, he hasn't gone more than 1 game without scoring. And like his January, incredible. Incredible. Okay, didn't play well against AC Milan there. Smashed them there in return. Because why not? He's been fantastic. He has been one of the players of the season, genuinely. If you have a look at the actual average ratings, he is the best player. Samini's next as well. Not quite as prolific as last season, but he's got more assists. I think he's become more of a team player. He's been fantastic too. Gonçalves been a good backup as well, as has Campanella. Espinoza silently doing his work as well. Gula's been great. I think he's been better than what his rating gives. Erbig has obviously been incredible. I'm so impressed with the quality of the team we put together, but now the question is, can we continue to do that? Now, I did say we are going to play a game in this video. We're going to play that Juventus game that you can see there. So I'm going to get everything set up and we'll get to it. Okay, we're all set up, and here is the 11 that we're going to be using against Juventus in what I believe will be our final game against Juventus, unless we go against them in the Coppa Italia, but we've already played them a couple of times. Anyway, it is going to be Urbing in goal, Trigos, Scalvini, Kubasi and Urbano in defence, Valena and Rabuano in the midfield, with Samini, Zidi and Espinoza supporting my boy Alexiv up front. We should win this, but you know what Football Manager is like. You know what it's like when you're facing against a rival. Literally anything can happen. On form this season, we are going to absolutely smash them, but doesn't mean an absolute bloody thing. So we'll see what the actual results will end up being. Appreciate as well, this episode's a bit weirder than most of some other ones. Normally you'll get 2 games and that'll kind of be it. So just to have the 1 game, and this guy's in a tracksuit. Who does he think he is? I don't know who their manager is. I missed it. I didn't see who it was. Yeah, appreciate this is normally not how our videos go, but yeah, you know, end of the season, end of the save, end of the game. We want to make sure that we get through as much as possible and try and get through. Oh, do you know what? I've not hit play. That would help, wouldn't it? I want to get through as much as we can before FM26 does end up coming out, which is pretty much any day now from when I'm recording this. I'm recording this on the 18th of October. Predictions were it was going to come out on the 16th. 16th came and went, did not happen. So it is now, I think it's been apparently leaked, it's going to come out this Tuesday. Whether it's this Tuesday or this Thursday, I don't know. It's usually a Tuesday or a Thursday. I think, although people are saying it's this Tuesday, I don't think it will be. I think it'll be Thursday. That's my prediction. By the time you see this, it probably will already have been announced or will have already come out, more than likely, knowing my luck. But yeah, we want to try and get this season finished before then, just to get a bit of closure on the save and a bit of closure on FM24 as well, so we can kind of look forward to what's going to come in the new game. Reviews have been mixed so far from what I've seen of the new game, so it'll be interesting to see what it is actually like when we've got it. What an absolute belter of a free kick that was. I don't even think I can be mad at that. I want to be. Genuinely, what a free kick that is. Constantelias, what an absolute shot. Poor from our team from an attacking sense so far. We've been all over them, but we've not done anything. So we need to do something to get us back into the game after that absolute shocker of a goal. I'm stunned at how good that free kick is. I'm going to say that one. I'm going to G up all of the lads who are not playing very well. It's most of the team, to be honest with you. It's upset some of them. I don't really care, to be honest. Right, and we're going to do what I've done a couple of times. We're going to up the tempo. And there's an injury to Samini, which is great because he's on really good form as well. We don't really need that. We'll bring on Gonçalves, who needs some game time anyway, so we'll do that. I'll leave the rest of the front line for the time being. Yeah, we'll leave everything else. We'll go in with that one. I'll just say to everyone else, change the game. We'll just try and fire the boys up a little bit. Poor performance. We're due to drop points at some point. It would be a shame if it's at home against a team that we've beaten a couple of times already this season, but if it's how it's going to be, it's how it's going to be. I will be disappointed there. Right, Villain into Rabuano. Rabuano to Espinoza. Espinoza. A lot of yellow cards for it. Well, I say a lot. There's 3. Espinoza now. Looks to get the ball in. Gets it into Alexiv. And there is the equaliser. Just like that. 7-8 minutes after we start the game up again, we get a goal back and we're all level again. Lovely work from us here. Espinoza holds the ball up, gets to Urbano. Urbano waits for the right time to the pass, and then Espinoza makes the run across the goal into Alexiv. Gonçalves was there as a backup. 1-1. Fabulous. I'll take a draw. After that first half, I'll take a draw. I'd like a win. Very much so. But I'm not ignorant to the fact that we are pressing it if we think we're going to have a 100% league season. I don't think that's going to be the case. Right, Juventus coming forward here. We're not long after the kickoff. I'm not very happy with the fact that we're letting them kind of do what they want, but we do win the ball back here. Right, Villain into Rabuano. Rabuano Forward to Alex Zeve. Alex Zeve to Zilli. Zilli, need to see something from him. Ball to Gonçalves. Alex Zeve, I think he's offside here, Alex Zeve. I think it's going to be given as an offside. It is close. No flag went up. But I think this is going to be offside. Yeah, I just had a feeling. Let's watch that replay. Let's watch the pass here from Gonçalves. Oh, just too late. Just too late. Flag can go up, but yeah, look, to my eye, definitely looked offside. Right, demand more from the boys. Alex Zeve with the free kick. He's gone for it, you know. And Pessina, who's a very good goalkeeper, other than the fact that he's on the shorter side, does make a very good save there. The height is what concerns me. I did look to sign him at one point, but the height does concern me. Right, headed out only as far as Rabuano. I want Espinoza again. Heavy touch, and it is going to be the end of the highlight. Right, goal kick for Pessina. Launching it forward for Juventus. And we win the ball straight back. It's Villain now running forward from defensive midfield. No one with him. Went for it himself. If any had a thought to hold it up there, that would have been great. Rabuano is on the 6.5. I really dispute that. I feel like he's had a much better game than that. However, we are at substitute o'clock. I am going to make the change. Tenas is going to come on. And we'll just make that one for the time being. And let's see how we get on. Team has improved. Erbig hasn't had that much to do in this half, so his rating hasn't improved dramatically. But we definitely have gotten better. Corner, Gonçalves. We do get goals from corners. And Scalvini has got his second of the season. Thought he'd get more, I'm not going to lie. Not too unhappy about the fact that he's not, because he's doing his defensive job very, very well. And we lead by 2-1. They get their first goal from a set piece. We get our second from a set piece. It is 2-1. Scalvini with the goal. He has made a difference this season, Scalvini. He has really felt like a top quality player coming into that defence. Not that our defence was a problem last season. It wasn't. But it feels like we have very much added to what was already a very comfortably good unit. Right. Gula is going to come onto the pitch. I've got 2 more changes I can make as well. And I'm just thinking maybe Espinoza for Campanella, get him a bit of game time. And I'm thinking as well, Kamada just for physicality. I think he's a little bit more physical than Alex Zeve. Bit stronger, better in the air. Yeah, let's bring him in. Let's do that. We basically have replaced our entire front line. Despite the fact that some of them have gotten better as the game has gone on. I'm not too unhappy about it, to be fair. Keeps them nice and fresh. Right. So we can get a third just to wrap things up here. Trigos looking for the recipient of his throw. He's a bit nervy on who he's going to throw it to here. Ends up going for Arda Gula, who's just come on, the captain. Right, Tenas to Villain. Villain, heavy touch, gets away from people. He loves a long shot, doesn't he, Villain? He's not very good at them, though. I say he's not very good at them. He's not very good today, but long shot wise, he's in 11, so he's a bit average. Also, his development's not particularly good. Right, late highlight here for Juventus. A little bit concerning. Can we defend it? No, sort of. Campanella now with the ball. And now we have a counter-attack on Villain again running forward. He has got options ahead of him. He's waiting. Gets it to Gonçalves. Gonçalves out wide to Campanella. Campanella is looking for an option, and he goes for the shot in the end. And Pessina saves that relatively comfortably. Made it probably a bit more dramatic than it actually was. Hopefully that is enough, and hopefully that is going to be the game. We are in the final minutes of added time, and anytime game. There we go. Full time. We come from behind. We win the game. Inter wins. Lol. That is basically the story of our time here. Just keep winning and winning and winning. And I think I know I'm very proud of the boys coming back with that. Sensational. Absolutely sensational. That leaves us on 66 points from a possible 66. 22 games played. We've scored enough goals and conceded few enough to have a goal difference of plus 64. Stuff of legends, our time here at Inter Milan. The absolute stuff of legends. So, how bad is Semina's injury? 2 days, that's fine. Alex Zeve is tired. We do need to rest him. I'll rest him for the Lazio game. We'll give him a week off of training. 23 straight wins in the league. That's obscene, isn't it? That's stretching back to the last game of last season. And there's a lot of clean sheets in there as well. And not a single game where we've conceded more than one. It's absurd, isn't it? There's the table again. Our actual goals scored is 72, goals against is 8, which again is the best in the league. And just to confirm again, that is how everything is looking there. Alex Eve on his 20 goals, best player in the league. Erbig with his 14 clean sheets. Thing of beauty. Right, so what's going to be the plan for the next episode? Well, the next episode, we're going to be looking at the Champions League in focus. I think what we're probably going to do is similar to this video. As far as we get in the Champions League, I will show you the goals from those games or highlights from those games. And I will include, if we get through to the semi-final, I will include the second leg of the semi-final as the full game you're going to get. And then we do the final in its own separate episode as a finale to the save. Well, maybe we do a finale separately. I don't know. But that's the general plan, I think, for this video that's coming up next. But I think as a start to, as first half of the season, it doesn't get any better than that. A 100% record in the league, 1 blotch in the Champions League, which was a draw against the top team that we know are very, very good, who are currently having a lovely time in Germany, absolutely bossing the German league. It's almost similarly to the way that we're bossing the Italian league. How are they doing, by the way? Joey Stevens not the top goal scorer, but Musiala is the best player, and they don't have a goalkeeper there. So they're definitely not as dominant as we were in our one season, that season there, but definitely still doing well. That team that we helped cultivate, definitely still doing the business. It's still our boys here who are leading the charge. And I'm still very salty that I'm not on any of these lists. If we look here at Inter, I'm already there, along with Samini. We've both made it onto the list. None of the other boys are anyone on here, so we need to do something about that by the end of the save. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. I'll be back in the next one where we're going to be focusing on the Champions League and seeing whether we can get to another Champions League final. So, until then, thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content coming in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.